Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. From Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea, Micha Mocha, page 36. Continue, bottom half of page 39. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over all Jerusalem and yours. Ushmor tzeitenu v'yaloshalom me'atavi adolam, Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Prayer for Shabbat v'shamru, page 40.
השמיים ואת
meditation on page 130 will lead us into the Amidah on page 132. Page 134.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הטול אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הטול ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו בשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמנתה לחיות מתים. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hametim.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. Complete the remainder of the Amidah silently out of the words on the page from 140 through 153, or the words and meditations that are in your heart this Shabbat. Torah service begins on page 196 with Ki Mitzia.
Mitzion Tetzei Torah, Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah, U'Davar Adonai Yerushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, L'amo Yisrael, V'kedushato.
198.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu Ladonai iti, U'Darama Shemo Yachdav.
Lecha Adonai HaGedol, HaGevora, HaTiferet, HaNetzach v'Ha'od. Ki hu b'shamayim v'ha'aretz, ki hu b'shamayim v'ha'aretz. Lecha Adonai Mamacha, Namid HaSeir Levonos.
So a little experiment going on here this evening. My printer didn't seem to want to talk back to my laptop, so I'm actually working off my laptop for a Devar Torah this evening. I am skittish about this technology, but forging my way into the future, here I go. This week's Torah portion, this Parashat Noah. Noah, of course, is we know the story of Noah and the flood. That it's basically a do-over for Noah and animals and Noah's family. And so God's initial covenant with mankind kind of comes from here, not to destroy the earth again with another flood. I think the jury may still be out on that. Feels like we're getting a little closer every year. And it's also the story about where righteousness is seen in relative terms. Noah is described as righteous in his generation, and what does that mean? I guess I thought about that particularly this week in terms of how the debate was being evaluated Thursday night, that it was being evaluated in relative terms maybe versus like an overall, like a standard set grade. Such is the time we live in. But actually, that's not the Noah story that I really want to get into tonight. It's the other story that appears in this week's Torah portion, the story of the Tower of Babel. It's a story that I think has particular relevance for both our congregation, Kol Ami, also the broader Jewish community, and actually our current political narrative. So the story itself is fairly well known. With Nimrod at the helm, the people decide to build a tower, ostensibly to reach to heaven, to be on the same level as God, really. And so there's no specific transgression that is specified in the Torah portion. The commentators seem to focus on the issue of self-aggrandizement. Nimrod is depicted really as the first man of power, the first to assume some sort of status of monarchy. But there's also a sense that the dispersal of the people that comes after the tower is built and destroyed forces them actually to fulfill an obligation that they have, which they have not done voluntarily, so thus they are dispersed throughout the earth, which is the obligation to fill the earth. Adding to that, the confounding of language provides an assurance that this Babel incident will not be repeated. Although, as Ellen Davis observes, the cycle of our relationship with God includes our uncanny ability to rupture the relationship. And this seems to be one of those cases, and she points to it as one example. What should not get lost in all this speculation about what we really did wrong is the setting of the story. It's not just about building a tower. There was a city built and a tower within the city. Back in antiquity, there seems to be a good deal of antipathy toward urban life. The desired lifestyle was that of the nomad or the farmer who lived closer to the earth. The tower and its goal of gaining height became a symbol for how urban life takes us away from the earth. In modern parlance, we characterize it as laudable to get away from the calamity of urban life, to get out of town, go out into the country, out into the wilderness, get away from it all. So this is a bit of a quandary for a synagogue community like ours that self-identifies as the urban progressive synagogue. A challenge particularly for a rabbi with an undergraduate degree in urban affairs, and for the Jewish people as well, who more clearly connect to urban centers. Think New York, for example. And even here in pastoral Missouri, if you're looking for Jews, you're better off looking in Kansas City or St. Louis than in the Missouri Boot Hill. But I push back on this reading, this interpretation of the Tower of Babel as an ongoing anti-urban polemic. In many ways, it's easier to live a more insular lifestyle, to focus on your own needs and not have to worry about others if you live outside of urban centers, to not have to deal with people not like us, people of different cultures, and pursuant to the Torah portion, people of different languages. We've seen recently with the Haredi community in New York that their rebellion against wearing masks and abiding by CDC and other government guidelines for gathering is a decision that goes beyond themselves and has consequences for others. And it compels them, at least you would hope it would compel them, to see that it had potential harm and risk to others by what they do and don't do. Jews in general, and Kolami in particular, understand the connection between our choice for urban life and how it compels us to engage with the broader community. Our urban garden in Mannheim Park, our growing relationship with Martin Luther King School, and our engagement on a host of issues affecting the urban core, issues that impact the Black community and a whole lot of people not like us. Making the choice to plant our flag in the central city is a choice to fulfill the mitzvah to love the stranger, to be exemplars of Jewish values to the broader community, and indeed to be a light to the nations, one city at a time. Torah blessings are on page 200.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Hava nirda v'nav lasham satam, asher lo yishmu isafarehu. V'yafetz Adonai otam, misham al pnei kol ha'aretz, v'yidalu levanat ha'ir. Alkein karashama bavel, kishem balal Adonai, tzva kol ha'aretz, misham afitzam Adonai, al pnei kol ha'aretz.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
It's time to think about those who can't be with us due to illness. We wish them rufat shlema, rufat hanefesh, rufat haguf, a complete healing, a healing in both spirit and body. There is on your screens the names of those in need of a blessing of healing, and to them I add the following names: Hana Fegi bat Eliezer V'Leah, Yaakov ben Daniel David Barakeh. top of page 203. As the Torah is wrapped, the Zot HaTorah, bottom of page 203.
Zot HaTorah אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה לה 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 לה
Our Torah is an Eitz Chaim, a tree of life. Ki Lekach Tov leads us into Eitz Chaim, page 206.
כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם תורתי אל תעזבו עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכיך מאושר
Continue with prayer for a better world. Aleinu, page 214.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרסות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל העולם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We hold in our hearts the memories of those whose short sights occur on this day, and also all those who have died due to COVID-19. Kadish Yatom, page 221. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah,
Amen.
ve'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, bagala v'zman kariv v'imru. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Maya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpar V'Yitromam V'Yitnaseh V'Yitadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalal Shemei Dekudisha Brichu Le'la Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbachata V'Nechamata Damiran Be'alma V'Imru
Amen.
Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru
Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'Mroma Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru.
Amen.
May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say some thank yous this Shabbat to our wonderful musicians, our music director Laura Steinell, to Brendan Howard, Karen Ingebretson, always wonderful music, spiritually uplifting music. Very appreciative. To our friends here at All Souls, on the technical side, Lucas Tested, Mark Gibbons, thank you so much for all you do to help us make meaningful worship. To Anthony Edwards, the Director of Musical Arts here at All Souls, and to my dear friend, Reverend Dr. Kendall Gibbons, for all you all do. Your generosity of spirit means so much to us. Coming up next week, next Friday night, we'll have at least Shabbat blessings on Zoom. Maybe we'll slip in a little, just a tiny bit of study. Takes not much time, but it's great to always connect with each other to welcome in Shabbat. Weekday worship continues, 8 a.m. every weekday morning, 8 to 8:15. We never run late. It's also a nice way to connect and get our day started off right. And with that, anything else coming up?
Yes, on Sunday afternoon, we have
meditation. Thank you.
meditation beginning at 2:15 by Zoom, going to 3:15. This particular day, we will look at Jewish music as our pathway to meditation, as well as what Torah has to say about music. And as always, Rabbi Doug will open our session up and start us on our journey.
The only other thing to talk about, because it feels like it's all pervasive and for good reason, is the upcoming election. So I can tell you two things. One, please vote. Please vote. It is, as Jews, we see it as an obligation to support the values of the country in which we live, and it is vital that we do that and vital that we vote. I am not allowed, nor will I tell you what candidates to vote for. But on an issue like a ballot initiative, I can tell you. So I'm going to tell you, all those who live in Missouri, vote no on Amendment 3. It's awful. It's undemocratic. At a time when we need our democracy back intact more than ever, please, please vote no on 3. And with that, we will do, unless there's any other announcements, I'm missing anything else, Kiddush and Motzi. Vayhi Erevei Voker, Yom HaShishi. Vayichulu hashamayim ve'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayachol Elohim bayom hashvi malachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol malachto asher asa vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayakadesh oto ki hivo shavat mikol malachto asher bara Elohim lasot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei Puri Hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodesho be'ahavav ratzon hinkilanu. Zikaron l'maseh bereshit. Ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh. Zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Have a restful Shabbat. And just always good to be together. Good to have everyone. Until next time, Shabbat shalom.